the session now. So first and foremost, I would really like to welcome and thank all of you for joining in today. The topic of today's session is remarketing, reach lost customers, sell more, and look bigger. To lead this session, we have with us Manoj Bajaj. Manoj is a business growth consultant. He's been practicing as a solution strategist, online marketing consultant, digital marketing coach from over 17 years now. Manoj is associated with Digital Vidya as an trainer for SEM and inbound marketing modules. So really delighted to have you here, Manoj, today. In today's session, we'll actually talk and dwell deeper into the world of remarketing. If you are a website owner, one of the things that you might have observed that a significant percentage of your website visitor, they come to your website, but they do not take any action and then they leave, or they do not take the desired action you want them to take, whether it is filling up a lead form or buying a product or probably viewing a particular pages on the website. The question is there a way that you can target these specific users based on the behavior that they have shown on your website? So remarketing is a solution to that. So in today's session, we'll be discussing about fundamentals of remarketing, what it is, how to implement it, basic strategies that everyone must follow to grow their business, why you can't leave remarketing out of your marketing mix, and how can you look bigger if as an organization, if you really leverage remarketing properly. And we'll also discuss some of the advanced strategies as well. So just to set the logistics before we proceed, this is a 1 hour session, and we'll have a session for about 30-35 minutes, and then we'll have an open Q&A. So in between, if you have any question, my request is that keep typing down your question in the question panel. We'll take up all the question in chronological order, and we'll keep 25 minutes in the end for open Q&A. So there we'll have an open discussion. So that's how we'll proceed. Okay. So that's it from my side. Manoj, you can start the session now.
Thank you, Kapil. Thank you for having me here. Without any ado, let us just start with today's session. So today's session, as Kapil has introduced, is about remarketing. So remarketing is a technique known to marketers which can be used to reach your lost customers, that people came to your website, did not do either the sale or purchase, complete the purchase, or fill up the lead form, or do certain other actions. Maybe you would have some webinar invitations, invites, registration forms. You may have download the white paper or download guides or download tool sets, or there may be a lot of things that you would like them to come to your website and take that action, but they did not. So if you are bringing those visitors and you are losing most of them, is there any way, as Kapil suggested? Yes, there is. All right. So today's webinar is going to cover that. So let us just proceed over to how we can actually leverage remarketing. And this is a little bit of introduction about myself, as Kapil has given me. I am an electrical engineer from Delhi College of Engineering. I have my specialties in pay-per-click, Apple certified from Google on AdWords. I also have specialization in conversion optimization, analytics, content strategy, email marketing, and social. I have been helping medium to large enterprise businesses in last so many years of being into work, and I conduct business growth seminars for small and medium business owners to help them understand what digital marketing is all about and how these people can use and utilize technology to garner some profits, some benefits, and some expansion of their business. And I have also been invited by IIM as an industry expert to deliver lecture on certain topics. And I have also written a series of 8 books, authored a series of 8 books, which have sold over 2 lakh copies in 2 languages. And these books are available in multiple countries, like on major portals like Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Fishpond, Australia, Book Depository UK, Mighty App, Australia, New Zealand, and Huntbee, etc. So that was a little brief introduction about me. So
Manoj,
let us just proceed ahead. Yeah.
Can I instruct you for a minute? Your screen is frozen, so it's not moving. It hasn't moved to the slide 2. If you could just, yeah.
Okay, so that was a little bit of introduction. Is it fine now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So So today we are going to start with the understanding that people who are here in this webinar, what kind of sites do they belong to? Kapil, can I request you to please float this poll? So I want you guys to select the right option, and I would want you to select what kind of sites are you associated with or working for or own, whether it is an e-commerce website or it is a lead generation website or is it an ad revenue based model or it is a corporate or product information website. So please click the right option so we can have an understanding, and on the fly I'll try to customize how we can actually use in terms of how we can customize the flow of the session.
Still waiting for reply from couple of you.
So I have a lot of ground to cover. So I would want you to be a little faster and a little more responsive, so that we can quickly get over with these kinds of interactions and then go down to the meat of the session.
So we have the results now, Manoj. 20% have said e-commerce.
All right.
11%, yeah, lead generation. 11%,
yeah,
revenue, and 58%, yeah.
So 11% have said that lead generation people. Around 11% have said ad revenue model, and around 57% have shared that they are into corporate and product information based websites. So excellent. I have built the content for e-commerce and lead generation model, but I'm also now going to share based on how corporate sites and product information based websites can leverage this. So this is going to give me a clear idea on how to customize the session. Okay, so now as an employee in a corporate structure, or as an e-commerce site owner, or as a lead generation website employee or owner or entrepreneur, what would you want? Do you want to have more buyers and more profits?
Posted this poll once again.
Yes, please give us your inputs. Do you want more profits for your company or the company you are working for, so that they can retain you and they can give you promotions? Or maybe you can retain others and continue to do good job that you are associated with right now.
Great. So the poll results are as expected. 100% have said yes.
Okay. So 25% of the people who have not responded, either they can get out of the room and they are not my target audience, or they can start continuing to focus on this. Okay. So coming back to this, what is today's agenda? Today's agenda is to understand about what is remarketing. It's totally about remarketing. The entire section has been divided into 4 segments. Segment 1 is going to discuss about fundamentals, what is remarketing, how it is implemented, and what can be done through this. Then we are going to cover some basic strategies on remarketing, because if you are actually connected with a site and if you're not doing it, you are actually leaving money on the table. And I want you guys to actually benefit out of this session and go back and implement these basic strategies, if nothing else. All right. Then you must understand why you cannot leave the remarketing out of the marketing mix. Understand how companies are leveraging these techniques and technologies that exist right now. Very, very affordable, very, very economical, and they can produce large scale volume for your objectives, and they can actually bring down the costs, that is per sale or cost per action or cost per lead or cost per purchase that you are actually dealing right now with. Okay, and then I'm going to also discuss some of the really advanced stuff, okay, that only 0.1% of the companies or marketing are actually exploiting right now, right? So this is the agenda for today, starting with segment 1, remarketing. So what is it, how does it work, and how to implement it is going to be covered in this section. So let us just understand what remarketing is. Although we have given a brief introduction, let's just get down to nitty-gritty of the actual real definition and then see how else it is popularly known as. So remarketing is a way for you to connect with visitors who visited your website but did not complete a desired action. Now, depending on your website, since most of the people are there from corporate websites, so you want people to come to your website and spend some time, okay, and take a look at number of pages, okay. You can actually tell those people, or you can actually expect those people to spend more time, let's say 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, okay, depending on the kind of content that you guys have. And then you want them to move quickly from one page to another, second page to third page to fourth, and you want them to cover a lot of pages or read a lot of pages. that are there on your website. That is exactly the idea of having a corporate site or a product information based website. If the people are coming to your website and bouncing back, no point obviously having that kind of targeted audience. Maybe the targeting is bad or the content is not pulling in. Okay, so we can actually take care of that in due course of this session. Okay, now it is also known as retargeting. It is also known as ATTF, or auto tag track and follow, based on the techniques that are being utilized. So now I think you will start understanding these terms. So if there are any questions, you can put it in the question box, and then we can take it up at the end of the session. So now just let's pretend I had actually assumed that the people coming here to this discussion would be on B2C or lead generation companies. But from now onwards, I'm going to customize and add value on the fly for people who are from corporate and product information based websites as well. All right. So let us say you actually own a website, which either is an e-commerce or a lead gen site or a company corporate website or a product information website. So what happens on your website? People come onto their website. Now you are spending money. Either you're using email marketing, or you're using organic SEO, or you're using AdWords or any other display methods to bring those traffics to those people to your website. But if they are coming to your website and not doing the desired action of completing the sale or generating the lead, or maybe, for example, studying your content, okay, and exploring the pages and spending some time that you want them to, okay, this goal is not objective, is not met. Okay, so now for the people who have not been able to meet those objectives, you would like to bring those people back to your website and give them one more chance, or maybe a couple of more chances, okay, to complete those objectives that your website has. Okay, so now let us just understand it as a step thing. How does it actually happen? So a user visits your website but does not make a purchase or complete an action. Okay, for product information based websites, you can actually have targets and goals and objectives like download white paper about the product, download case studies about the product or company or services. You can have webinars about the product or the services that you have to offer, or maybe other areas as well, okay, about the company or the product. So I'm just trying to tie up this particular discussion with the objectives you people may be looking at. Okay, so now when the person comes onto the website, okay, Google places a cookie. Okay, we are actually focusing our attention on Google's remarketing technology. If you are using some other marketing technologies, there are several. Okay, so you can actually use those techniques, those technologies, and they will leave their individual cookies. Okay, so we, for this particular discussion, we are going to focus solely on Google remarketing tools and technologies. Okay, so Google places a cookie in this user's browser to show that they visited your website. Then the user leaves your website and navigates through to other websites on Google Display Network. So anything that goes out from Google search, let's say a user went to the Google, search for some term, and there are either on the right hand side ads, or there are on the left hand side organic results. So the person clicks on there, on those links, and then goes to that other site. That is called display network, and there would be other AdSense ads or Google ads that will be there. So when the people actually leave Google's website or your website and go to display network, they will start seeing your ads based on the cookies that have been placed. Okay, so now by putting the cookies in their browsers, they have been tagged. Now the cookies have been tracked, and these people are being followed. Okay, so the marketing term, it is called remarketing or retargeting. In technical terms, it is called auto tag track and follow. Now you will be able to understand and make sense of all these terminologies, that once they have been marketed, they have come to your website, they have left. Now you are trying to bring them back so that now you have another chance to remarket to them, or you are retargeting them because now you are targeting them again and then trying to bring them back. So now the terms would start making a lot of sense. Okay, so let us just have a quick overview of the technical aspect of how to implement. The implementation can be done by your technical team, or the agency that you're already associated with, or the guys who are actually working on AdWords or these kind of strategies for you. Okay, it is actually a simple 4-step process. In this process, you have to go to your AdWords account, generate the remarketing code. Then you have to basically put those lines of code, JavaScript code, onto the pages where you want to track. Okay, let me give you some examples. Let us say if you want to track everyone who comes onto your website, okay, then you have to actually put this code, lines of code, on all the pages on your website. Okay, now let us say, for example, you would also like to monitor people who are converted, okay, who have been able to purchase the product or who have left the lead. Now these pages that they visit after completing this objective is called thank you page. Okay, now you also have to monitor how many people have been seen or have gone and reached that thank you page. Okay, Now, in case of product companies or corporate-based websites, corporate information-based websites, you will have multiple sections. Okay, for example, if a product company is there, they'll have multiple sections. For example, if we talk about Dell, just out of thin air, Dell would have a section on TVs, or Dell would have a section on desktops, Dell would have a section on laptop, Dell would have a section of monitors, Dell would have a section on storage devices, and it will also have sections on mobile phones and other devices. Okay, so based on which section of pages are you actually going to, you can be tagged. Okay, and then there can be other objectives of the website. For example, they want you to download a white paper, or they want you to download a register for a webinar. So those can be micro level thank you pages. They can also be tracked. And then if you're actually gone through the product pages and now you have gone to contact us page, but you did not leave a lead, or you did not actually initiate or fire up this form and left a query, okay, you can still actually target those people. So these are various examples in which you can actually start targeting the people based on what are your goals and objectives. Okay, now once you have put this code onto all the relevant pages, okay, within 48 hours Google will start building up the lists. Okay, these things are called lists, and by actually building the list, I mean that people would Google would start dropping cookies into their browsers. Okay, so the number of cookies Google has dropped is equivalent to the number of lists that Google has built. Okay, now after 48 hours, and there is one more precondition to it, that you should have at least 100 cookies dropped or 100 people in your list. Okay, the remarketing ads would not start firing unless you have 100 people in your list. Okay, so that's the precondition. So once your remarketing list goes beyond 100, the moment it goes 100 and 101, your ads would start, or your message would start showing up to those people. Okay, whenever they go out of your website and they go out to page which belongs to Google Display Network. And believe you me, 90% of the internet belongs to Google Display Network. So you have a whole world out there to assess and access those people who have come to your website but not done what you want them to. Now, when you start firing these ads, people would start clicking them, people would start viewing them, and then in your analytics and AdWords account, it will start showing you how your ads and how your campaigns are performing. Based on those results, you'll have to optimize those campaigns. And of course, if the campaigns are giving you positive ROI and profitability, then what would you like to do? Of course, we'd like to scale them up. All right. So this is the implementation, very brief laymanistic implementation, but this goes slightly complex, or depending on the level of objectives or the complexity of your goals and objectives, this can become very, very complex. So to keep it all of us together, I have actually summarized it in simple 4 steps. Now, with this, we are through with the first segment of remarketing, about fundamentals of remarketing. Now, moving ahead, let us just understand what are the basic strategies that you guys have to implement. If you are not implementing even those basic strategies, you are actually leaving a lot of money, and you are actually sinking a lot of investment that has gone into bringing those visitors. Now, general conception is that organic traffic is free, all right? But it is not true. Nothing is free in this world, okay? So if you are actually getting this free traffic, you must have done some kind of organic, either on-page optimization or off-page optimization. That thing either would have been done in-house or it would have been outsourced. So if it is done in-house, your guys are actually spending time. So you are actually paying them. So that means there is still some cost associated with that. So if you are actually outsourcing this particular process to other companies or agencies, then you are of course paying them directly, and there is a cost involved with SEO as well. All right. Now, if you are doing SEO, fair enough, there is an indirect cost involved. If you are doing AdWords or PPC or display ads, there is a direct cost involved, because for every click or for every 1,000 impressions, you have to spend money. And let's say all the people who are clicking onto your ads and going to your website, most of the people are actually leaving. Let me share what is most of the people mean. Average conversion rates, depending on industries, start from 0.5% and go up to 1.5 to 2%. Okay. If your site is converting better than that, let me congratulate you already, because you are doing a fantastic job. I am going to share you certain things where your site can actually start performing even better. And if you're not within this range, then you need to look at your business model really seriously. Okay. And you have to think about how we can actually make it better. So if you're spending money, and maybe some people would be doing social media campaigns, some people would be doing email marketing campaign. So if you are actually spending time on posting posts to Facebook, or putting tweets on Twitter, or putting some kind of post to LinkedIn or G+, okay, you're still spending time. Okay, you would be having a guy, at least one guy would be writing content. Then there will be another guy who will be actually posting those content pieces on regularly on Facebook. And then maybe you will have something like read more button on the Facebook, and then the people will go to your website. All right. So even content population on the website is also something which is costing you money. So if you're spending a whole lot of money, why not increase the ROI? Why not increase profitability? Why not increase the volume of sales if there are some means by which you can? So my rest of the session is going to actually explain you about how exactly can you do that, what exactly is required to do, and how you can actually see that how other companies, you will actually see that how other companies have been able to get results and what kind of results they have been able to get. So now when I discussed earlier about building up the lists, okay, so as a very basic minimum, you need to have at least 2 lists, all right? So one list is of the people who have come to your website. Now this I am talking to you in terms of if you are having a small or a medium level of website, where by small or medium, I mean maybe you're getting like 2,000, 5,000 kind of visitors every month. If you are getting like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 visitors, then you'll have to actually fine tune those strategies because you will be in that space. Actually, you'll be marketing to those people. That is the reason these people would be coming to you. So the strategies, the level of complexity would go much higher. So I'm just introducing you with the basic strategies, but I'm going to cover a lot, some of the strategies in the advanced section as well. So please be with me. If there are any questions on how to implement it or what else can be there, please put it in the chat box or question session. I'll be taking that after the session is over. So starting with, put all the people who are coming to your website, and maybe you can also fine tune this strategy by who are coming to your website, spending at least 1 minute, something like that, or maybe who are coming to your website and visiting at least 2 pages. Okay, you can slightly fine tune the strategies. Okay, and then show ad message to everyone. Okay, who visited your website with more than 1 pages in that last session. Okay, so let me share you one more insight here. If a person has gone to your website and did not go to any other page and close the browser, it is considered as a bounce. Okay, which means essentially 2 things. One, that the person, either the targeting was not right, or two, the content on the page is not right. Okay, any of the 2 things can be wrong. Okay, so if you're actually targeting people, all the people, you will actually be able to you will actually, your strategy will actually be covering those bounced people as well, who we may not be interested in. Okay, so just a fine tuning of that strategy is that cover all the people who have visited more than one page and then follow through them across their either lifetime. The maximum thing that you can maximum targeting duration can be 540 days, which is equivalent to 1.5 years. Okay, it can be as small as 1 day or it can be as big as 540 days. All right, so coming back to this discussion, so you can actually put an ad message or a relevant message, okay, into those ads and start showing these ads to those people. Okay, you can either show these ads on a daily basis or multiple times in a day or a weekly basis or on monthly basis. You have the complete control. What are the messages these people are showing? You have complete control. And you can also control where these people are seeing the messages by using some advanced tactics and implementation stuff. Okay. Now, if let's say, for example, a person comes to your website, all right, and then he leaves and goes to some other website. Now, if you implement the strategy like this, that wherever he goes, your ad reflects over there. Okay. Now, if that ad is reflecting on almost all the sites on all the pages that he is visiting, the person, that there are 2 things which are going to happen. One, that the person is either going to think that this company is so big, they're advertising so massively, this must be having hundreds of thousands of dollars or lakhs of rupees invested into these kinds of ads. Okay, but this also particular method have one negative side of it. People may freak out. People may start having a creepy feeling that people are following you. Okay, so you have to do it strategically. But if done strategically, if done with a little bit of patience and strategy, this can do wonders for you, and this can produce some amazing results. I have got so many clients coming back to me that this strategy alone has given me so many clients that they come after them by saying that you guys are so big, spending so much of money, we have to talk and deal with bigger vendors, because smaller vendor can sometimes not up to the mark of the kind of requirements that we have. All right. So these kinds of feedback I keep hearing from multiple people, and this kind of strategy works fantastically. Okay. And even sometimes in digital Vidya also, we have gotten some students that show me just this strategy alone, and I'm done with the entire course. Okay. So these are the kind of people, these are the kind of strategies that can do fantastic things for your business. Okay. So now this was a little bit about the basic strategies, how those basic strategies can be implemented and utilized for your business. So if you just start implementing those basic strategies, your website or your business can start looking bigger, perceived bigger, and then the people who have come to your website and have not taken the desired action, they can start coming back to you, and then they will actually start converting, or more of those people would start converting. As in the introduction of this webinar, I showed you that I had given an example of a person, of a female who was actually going to their product website, your product website. She actually tried looking for all the products you had. She tried looking for comparing all the products that you had, which fitted into her budget, and then suddenly the phone bell rang. Okay, she got some message. The baby started crying. Husband came in, boss came in, family friends came in. Okay, some other kind of interruption happened. So today we live in a world of interruptions. Okay, so it is just a reminder that you left something in between can actually start helping you pull a lot of customers back and complete their objectives on your website. Okay, so moving on to segment three, why you cannot leave remarketing out of your entire marketing mix. Okay, the first thing that I have just shared with you is that it is very easy to start implementation of this remarketing technique, and it can actually bring down cost of remarketing, and it can actually help you scale your effort. Okay, whether it is scale your put your effort onto a different scale where you can start getting better and more volume on the conversions that you are receiving right now. So let us just see, by going with this logic, how other companies are utilizing this and what kind of results those companies are getting. So moving ahead, there is a company called ArtBeats, or artbeats.com. Okay, and they sell all kind of precious and semi-precious stones. And they came up with this. They built this remarketing ad, 250 by 250 pixel classic ad, and they actually got 22% lower account remarketing campaign results on CPA as compared to average account results. Okay, so when you start actually marketing into AdWords, there are multiple strategies, multiple ways in which you start evaluating your campaign performance. So one is the campaign average, the other is the account average. Okay, so if your campaign average is better than other campaign averages, you have a clear indication that your campaigns are performing good. And then the entire account average can also be taken down, calculated, and seen that which campaigns are actually performing better than the campaigns average, or which campaigns are performing below average. Okay, and then you can start optimizing and fine tuning those campaigns. So you will see these types of things when you are associated with AdWords or PPC kind of stuff, and that is what we specialize in. Okay, so for this art feeds, CPA for abandoned shopping cart list actually gave them 22% lower than average account rate, which essentially means that all the other campaigns, let's say if they were, they were performing at, let's say, X rupees per cost per acquisition, okay, then this particular campaign started converting at 22% lower, okay, and then here if you see another result is that CPA for purchasers list, okay. Now these are two lists we are talking about. People who started started by clicking on the add to cart button but did not end up purchasing. Okay, and purchaser list is the list where people have already bought from you. Now you're trying to sell them something else. Okay, so now if you see the ratio or percentage of improvement, 22% of improvement in people who left the site without completing the objective, and 65% improvement in people who are actually bought, and now you are telling them come back and buy some more. Okay, see the profitability rising, see the reduction in the costs, and see the effort that is something the level that it can be scaled up. Okay, yet another company, Green Mountain Coffee, built another 250 by 250 pixel classic square box ad, and then they actually started remarketing, and with remarketing they actually had to increase their CPC. CPC stands for cost per click, from $1.50 to $5. Okay, almost around 3.4 times. Okay, but even after increasing the CPC, they were maintaining the same ROI. Okay, which essentially means that the conversions went up significantly. Okay, it means that let's say 100 people were converting earlier. Okay, and they were spending let's say 10 rupees per conversion. Now they are spending 250 people converting at the rate of $5 per CPC. Okay, that means the conversion rate went up dramatically. Okay, from the list that they had built from measuring the behavior on analytics or similar technologies onto their website. So this is fantastic thing. So once you know, if you spend 10 rupees and you get 15 back, how much money would you like to spend? That is the question here. Okay. So if you are not doing remarketing and if you are not actually giving your people another chance to convert, to come to your website and convert, you are actually leaving a ton of money on the table, which actually belongs to you because you did the entire effort to bring them to the website in the first place, and then it was you who spent money, it was you who wrote the content, it was you who actually strategized the entire path and entire strategy to bring them back. But now they have now been educated, they have now been satisfied that there are product strategies. Now we do not want them to leave our website, go to your competitors and buy from them. So we always would like to bring them back and give them at least one chance or maybe more chances to convert to us. Okay. Another company, bedcactus.com, implemented some advanced level strategies where they added keywords to the remarketing mix. Okay, they just did not target the people who came to their website and went back. They actually tried to remarket to those people who, after going back from their website, they search for some relevant terms. Okay, so now their ad would appear on pages. They would be talking about similar kind of context. Let us say, as an example, if you belong to, let's say, let's say mobile phone company. Okay, let's say the person comes to your website, leaves, and then maybe 2 days down the line or 5 days down the line or a couple of weeks down the line, he's looking for glasses. Okay, glasses means like eyeglasses. Okay, or maybe he's looking for shoes, sport shoes, or he's looking for travel. Maybe he wants to plan some travel vacation. Okay, now if your mobile ad starts showing up, it may sound slightly creepy. There are strategies that can be implemented that if the person goes back and looks for mobile or related stuff only, okay, then only your ad must appear over there. Okay, so these are the kind of strategies that can be implemented, and this company implemented these custom strategies or advanced level strategies, and they increased their CPA with by 22%, and their account cost lowered by 77% in the average ad spend of display ads. Okay, let me just explain you. These can be terms that can be slightly confusing to newcomers. Let me just explain. So there are two averages as I shared with you. One is the account average, the other is the campaign average. Okay, the averages can be compared with each other in order to have a overview glance of how your account is performing or how your campaign efforts are doing. Okay, now let's say you actually compare the search market versus search market campaigns, and you also tend to compare display to display market campaigns. Okay, so now overall account averages of CPA were lower in this particular remarketing strategy by 22%. And if they only compare display marketing ads, okay, the actually cost of acquiring this particular action was lower by 77% as far as the money spent was concerned. Okay, CPA stands for cost per action, which may mean either cost per sale or it may mean cost per lead. Okay, so 77% lower in actually putting the cost down, in bringing the cost down. That means at the same time you're increasing your profits higher. Okay, you're pushing the prices higher. Okay, as profits are sale price minus cost price. If you are actually reducing the cost, you are increasing profit. So this is how we are seeing that you are actually increasing the profits. Okay. Another example, there's a company called Yankee Candles. Okay. Now this is an American company. Now in a span of about 60 days, they had 41,000 abandoned shopping carts. Okay. That means that people came to their website and left without completing the purchase in a span of 60 days. Okay. Now earlier they were not using remarketing. When they started implementing remarketing, they said that 10% of the people who had already left came back to their website and 600% higher conversion rate than account average. Okay, so now you're seeing how things are being compared here. And now they are seeing that after putting this remarketing strategy in place, they started getting 6 times more, or maybe 100 to 700% more in the campaign conversion rate as compared to the overall account average. Okay, so now you can again see the ad these people floated. You can actually go and check out their websites. Maybe they can start showing ads to you as well. But since you do not belong to America, you can actually go to Indian sites. You can go to Flipkart. You can go to Snapdeal. You can go to eBay. You can go to Amazon. You will immediately start seeing ads from those companies the moment you leave their website. Okay. So these kinds of things are being done all across the globe. All right. So this is how these companies are implemented. Another Google product, Nexus One, and since it was from Google itself, they obviously had to implement it. So when they implemented it, remarketing ads got 2.3 times higher conversion rate and 2.4 times lower CPA. Okay, so they're happening 2 times. Two things are happening. 2.3 times higher conversion rate. That means more people are converting. That means the volume of sales is increasing. Okay, 2.4 times lower CPA. That means the cost per sale is reducing. So you are increasing your volumes as well as you are actually decreasing the cost. So that means your profits go through the roof. Okay, so you can actually start seeing these kinds of results when you implement those strategies right from the very beginning of the basic strategies we just discussed and some of the advanced strategies we are going to discuss in about a few minutes from now. Okay, then overall 3.2 times higher conversion rate of remarketing display ads than account average. Okay, so now you can start seeing that all of the people consistently got better averages than the rest of the campaigns who were not using uh, remarketing strategies, or in fact in other display campaigns also people were getting better better results. Okay, another company called Lenovo. Okay, I'm currently on a Lenovo, so I would have happiness sharing with you. Okay, so remarketing drove 20% campaign total orders. Okay, so they were doing multiple campaigns, and remarketing alone was serving 20% of the orders. Okay, just imagine how huge the contribution of remarketing for Lenovo is. And now you see 14% lower CPCs than campaign average. Okay, campaign expense to revenue ratio reduced by 14%, which is a technically confusing way of saying that their profits were went up by 14%. Okay, simplistically you can say that if your expense is reducing, okay, that means your profits are increasing. Okay, so these things are done by a lot of higher end consulting companies, and they try to introduce as much complexity in what they are discussing. So just to reduce the complexity, I'm just saying that if they say that campaign expense to revenue ratio reduced by 14%, which essentially means that profits went up by 14%. Okay, so with this, I'm through with section number 3, and now I'm into segment 4. What are the kind of things that can be implemented by at a really advanced level, and why only these, since these strategies are slightly difficult or sometimes very complex to implement, so and they're also difficult to understand, and awareness is also not that high. So I'm just sharing some of those strategies we can actually learn and get them implemented. And believe you me, these strategies are only implemented by 0.1% of the marketers or the companies who are actually who are doing remarketing in the first place. Okay. So since it is having variable different levels of difficulties, so depending on what your infrastructure is, what your team is, we can actually have different ways of implementing this. Okay. So let me just go through this one by one and show you how these things can help you in quickly about next couple of minutes. So show ad message to converted people, that means upselling and cross-selling. So if you know that the person has come to your website and has converted, that means either he has generated a lead, okay, then in those cases probably you do not want to come back again and give a lead for same product. If you know there is some other product that exists with you that can be useful for the product that he has already bought or he has generated a lead for, you can start marketing or remarketing to those people about those products. And all of us know that selling to an existing customer is far cheaper, far economical, far more profitable, far less trainers as compared to selling it to an absolutely new client or absolutely new prospect. So this strategy alone can actually do wonderful things, as we have shown you some case studies, and I have been seeing consistent results from all the clients through remarketing, which we have worked with. Okay. Now let's say the people have bought products from you, or people have bought various products from you, and thousands of people in last 1 year have come to your website. Now your company is planning to launch a new product. Okay. Now what would you do? Okay, you know those people came to your website by you having to spend all the effort, spend resources and money and time. Okay, now let us not let it go waste. Okay, let us build a list of all the people who came to your website. Okay, and then show the new product launch message to all those people. The very proof, the very fact that these people came to your website in the first place is the proof enough that they are interested in your product, your company, your service, your brand. Okay, so now you can start showing them that the new launch that is going to happen for you in your case. Okay, so this strategy alone can do wonderful things, can bring the cost of the marketing so down in the digital space, and it can do amazing things for you guys. Okay, going ahead, if you are into a company product where you have to have annual maintenance contracts, or maybe you have to have subscription renewal kind of a thing, so you know the contract has to be renewed in a matter of 12 months. So if there is a mechanism that can be built around the time that the person has just purchased or paid for this product, okay, then you can actually start remarketing to those people with a span of 10 months to 13 months. Okay, after 10 months of purchase, you can start showing them that renewal is due, renewal is due, renewal is due. Okay, and then you can continue to show it by the end of 13 month, till the end of 13th month. Okay, so then you can telling them your subscription is overdue, your services have been stopped. Okay, something like that. Okay, maybe message wordings can be different, but you have to understand the context and idea behind it. Okay, so you can remind them for actually renewing the services, okay, at the right time, so that without having your telecallers, without having you to write emails to them, you can actually start bringing them back automatically, thereby reducing your communication costs, bills, and resource costs. Okay, different messages for different geographies and genders. So if your product, if you know that, let's say, there is some kind of festival going on in, let's say, southern south of India. Okay, you can start showing different ads to those people who came from your website from southern part of India. Okay, if you know there's a different kind of festival going on in northern part of India, or some kind of different celebration, or some kind of different mood is there, geographically separated. Okay, then you can start showing different types of ads meant for those locations. Okay, and if you have product for females and males, both genders, okay, or maybe different age groups as well. Okay, you can actually start showing these ads based on their mood, their gender, their kind of geography, and their age group also. Okay, there are a lot of complex strategies. There are a lot of advanced strategies that can be built around this, and some fantastic results can be produced and have been produced by the industry experts. Okay. Now, people who went to a specific job section or vacancy page can also be contacted later. Okay. Let's say you floated an ad. Okay. And people who were looking for that kind of a job or vacancy visited that particular page. Okay. But now your job has been fulfilled. The position has been filled. Now you can actually contact using this particular remarketing tag or remarketing strategy and connect them back to them later, because the very fact that they actually visited that page of vacancy, okay, of that position, is a proof enough that they were interested in that position. Okay, so you can actually start building up resumes, and if you know that your company requires some people in, let's say, a couple of months from now, you can start doing the remarketing ads and start filling in the resumes in about 1 month, 2 months time, which is the lead time. Okay, then product wise section, if you know that people went to men's shirt, or people went to baby toys, people went to some women's apparels or accessories, or people went to gadgets. Now you know that people are interested in this particular type of product. Okay, so you can start showing them that product, the very product that they visited, or maybe some other kind of products which you have data for, that people who are mostly buying this product are also buying this product. Okay, people who are mostly viewing or browsing this product are also browsing this product. So you can start building these kinds of remarketing campaigns, and start bringing those people back to your website and start getting more orders, more leads, or more time spent, or more pages viewed onto your website. And in the same way, this particular technique can be taken further to the next level by dynamic remarketing campaigns. I'm sure most of you would have been to Amazon and Flipkart, and you must have browsed or checked out some pages. The moment you leave their website, you are shown exactly the same product or products that you visited while you were there on that website. Okay, so there is no team. There is okay. Now these kinds of websites would have hundreds of thousands of products or millions of products. So that does not mean that they are actually building millions of lists. They are building hundreds of thousands of lists. Okay, there are systems available, there are technologies available, there are tools available, okay, which can be implemented, which take care of all these things happening all automatically. Okay, so these are some of the strategies that we can implement through remarketing, and take the remarketing effort, take the marketing effort to the entirely next level, where you can actually start getting larger volume of customers, larger volume of leads, larger volume of people who would come to your website, spend more time, and spend visit and browse more pages. Okay, depending on whatever your goals and objectives are. Okay, so with this, I would say that my session is over. Now we can look at the questions. Kapil?
Yeah, we have lots of questions. Actually, I've
Excellent.
answered some of them that I could, and
Okay.
let's take them in the chronological order. So, guys,
Sure.
also, I'm just putting down all the hands. So, if there is anything that you want to have an open discussion on, you can just raise the hand again, and I'll unmute you. So, there's a question from Manuj. He said that it's a more tech, uh, tactical question. Can I stop remarketing campaign to only the customers who have converted and continue remarketing campaign to one who have not converted yet?
Absolutely. That is part of the basic strategy. Of course, people who have already fulfilled your goals, you would not like to continue to show them same exact ad which they've already bought, the same exact product that they've already bought. Okay, so that will completely go behind the objectives and it will completely spoil the entire effort. So you need to keep tracking those things, and there are some specific tagging system that can be built. As in the basic strategy I shared, that you can actually put a tag on all the pages that people have visited and a tag on thank you page. Thank you page means after they have paid you money or after they have given you the lead. Okay, and then you can subtract that people list from all the people who have paid you money or who have generated the lead. Okay, so
All right.
by doing this, you will not be showing the ads to the people who have actually converted for you. So I hope, Manoj, I have been able to answer your query.
His name is
If you still have anything,
Manu. Yeah. Um,
Manu.
right.
Okay,
So Manu, if you have a further question on this, just type it down. Okay, he's saying okay, thanks. The next question
fantastic.
is from Manas Makani. He wants to know how can we get the remarketing code if there is no AdWord accounts?
Okay. You need to have an AdWord account. You cannot have remarketing implemented without an AdWord account. Okay. The other thing is that maybe if you do not use Google, you have to use some other account, some other company's account. There are other companies like AdRoll or Simply Ad or maybe Targeter, or there are a lot of companies who offer these kinds of things. You'll have to get that code by subscribing to that service and taking an account with them. Okay. You can actually start, you have to start AdWords. Okay. There is another complex strategy and recommended one for building the list on remarketing strategies. Okay. You'll have to, through analytics, you'll have to do certain changes in the analytics code that can be done. But again, you cannot start building lists even without having an AdWords account. Okay. So you have to have the AdWords account first, and then you can start building the list. But for your ads to fire, you have to start spending money. Now, I'm sharing two things with you. Let's say your company is not ready to start spending money on AdWords right now, but what you can do, you can actually go and start building up the lists right now. Okay, maybe a couple of months down the line, 6 months down the line, you decide to go and put some money into AdWords account, and then you can start building up those lists. Okay, for building up the list, there is no cost involved. Okay, so if you're actually building up the list, there is no cost involved. So why not start building the list right now? Why to lose traffic which is coming onto your website right now? All right. So you can start building up the list by starting an AdWords account without having to spend even a single penny, because as AdWords account is absolutely free. Signing up an AdWords account is absolutely free. Okay, the moment you decide to go ahead with marketing budget on AdWords, you can immediately start using the lists which have already been built up, and you will not even have to wait for 48 hours or 100 cookies to be fired up into various browsers. So you'll immediately go start with the advertisement program. Okay, so I hope I have been able to answer your question.
Great. Manas, if you have further clarification, do let us know. Next question is from Pawan Kumar. He actually has asked three questions, and
Okay.
all of them are pointing to the same issue. So I'll just ask all of them. In the first question, he said that most marketers are already spending marketing dollars to generate inbound traffic, which
Right.
has less than 3% conversion rate. What's the point in
Right.
spending more marketing dollar in remarketing to the balance 97%? Isn't it like paying two times to generate the same traffic? Isn't the ROI increases exponentially all the time? So the next question is,
Okay.
what is an average conversion rate from remarketing? What is an absolute ROI associated with remarketing? Consider that you are paying for the same visitor more than once. And the third is
Okay.
also if you can compare the effectiveness of remarketing campaign versus real-time marketing strategies. So I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Let me just take an example. Okay. Let's say somebody was looking for mobile phones. Okay, and he came to your website. Okay, and eventually he came to your website and added, let's say, Nokia Lumia phone into the clicked on add to cart button, or maybe HTC Desire, or maybe Asus Zenfone, and clicked on add to cart. Okay. Now, uh, then he leaves the website and clearly goes away. Okay. Now, based on this information, what would you like to do here? Okay. Just because somebody typed on mobile phones does not mean that he's highly targeted. Absolutely understood. There is no point spending money on all the visitors who are typing mobile phones and coming onto your website. But how about people who actually click on the button add to cart on a specific phone model? Would you not like to help them complete the purchase and take out some dollars from their pocket and put into your own pocket? Yes, I would. If I'm in that position, I would definitely do something about it. Now, based on this behavior, you can start doing behavioral remarketing, which is part of some advanced level strategies, some of which I've already shown and shared with you. Okay, but the list goes, the strategies go much, much beyond, much, much deeper than what I've just shared with you. Okay, so since it was a general purpose webinar for most of the people, so I have tried to keep it to a very simplistic level, but this thing can really grow fantastically high, bringing in hundreds of percents of increase in sales, hundreds of percents of decrease in CPAs as well. Let me share a couple of ideas with you. I worked for a college and they were getting leads. They had to basically, during the college season, they had to get students to fill up the admission forms, okay, to apply for that particular MBA seat, okay. Now, before we joined that company, their average lead cost was turning out to be 26,000 rupees, 25,763 to be very precise on display AdWords. Okay, just imagine 26,000 rupees for getting one lead, and these leads are not even converting. Not all leads are equal. Okay, when we started working with them, we actually brought this cost down to 1,700 rupees. Okay, so that means there was a reduction in cost by 96%. Now, if you still continue to spend the same amount of money, you will get 20,000% of increase. Okay, 20,000% of increase in the actual output with spending the same amount of money by using remarketing. Okay, yes, of course, you'll have to spend a little bit more money, but see the impact. Okay, see the total cost of the people that you have brought, total cost of the traffic that you have brought, and then total cost of the conversions. Okay, if your cost of conversions are improving, okay, if your volume of conversions are improving with similar ROI, I would continue to do it day in and day out. Okay, I hope I have answered your query.
I think so. So, by the way, just to add to that, I'll just add one line to it. At Digital Vidya, we run remarketing ads and the regular ads. And our remarketing ads generate the cost of lead of remarketing ad is way below the cost of lead of general ads. So, I hope that would just
Yes,
give another example to the same.
excellent.
Okay. Then there's a question from Divik Sethi. He wants to know how to implement remarketing for mobile phones or mobile users.
Yes. Thank you for asking me this excellent question, David. Okay, so if you are into AdWords, there are two ways of controlling your visitors. As I said, you can control behavior. First of all, you need to understand what kind of behavior is converting better. If There are two types of behavior as far as devices are concerned. Excuse me. One is uh, desktop and tablets. So that means all tablet devices and all desktops, laptops have been put into one category, and the other category is mobile devices, and you can fluctuate your bid. It is basically on bid strategies, okay, and bidding optimization. The question belongs to that particular section. So what you can do, you can actually only, if you see, of course, based on your analytics data, based on your analysis, if you see that it is advantageous for you guys to put money on mobile bids, okay, then what you can do, you can put up some marketing spend on AdWords, and then you can either increase the spend to an extent that mobile ads start firing up. Let me just give you another example. Okay, let's say your average cost per click for mobile is, let's say, 1 rupee. Okay, just as an example. Okay, it has been viewed that mobile CPC is much lower than desktop or tab CPC. Okay, CPC stands for cost per click. So if your mobile CPC is 1 rupee, then tab CPC or desktop CPC would be 2 rupees, 3 rupees, or maybe higher. Okay. So what I'm going to suggest you here, how to exactly only target mobile devices, set up a bid and reduce it to the level where only mobile devices would be triggered, because the bid price would be so low that your tabs and your desktop ads would not even fire. Okay, so I hope technically I have been able to answer your query. If no, please ask me the clarification question. I'd be glad to clarify.
Yeah, I think so. So, guys, if you have a follow-up question, let us know. By the way, there are a lot of questions that are still unanswered. So, what I'm actually doing is I'm simultaneously, while I'm taking up more questions, I'm triggering a poll question in front of you. If you're interested in AdWords or remarketing related services for your organization, then Manoj's organization, which is a Greybox Technology, provides consulting services for this. So you can just mention yes over here, and I'll forward your contact details to Manoj, and then Manoj team will contact you. So by the time you're responding to this, there's another interesting question from Dhaval. He wants to know, when should remarketing be avoided? When it's absolutely, is there any time when it is absolutely no?
Yes, although it's very niche related query, or maybe you can say if your product is available only for a very, very small period of time, okay, so then you have to either coordinate very, very strictly with remarketing with the product actual expiration date or something, or offer date or something, or you may not be able to in a position to start even firing the remarketing ads, because as I said, if you launched an offer, okay, you will have to spend 48 hours or some time so that you can actually Google can start building up the list, and you can actually go down to the level of 100 cookies to be flushed, or to be not flushed but put into that Google browsers, or not Google browser but any browser. Okay, so if you are actually doing a single day campaign, okay, or if you're doing let's say for example an offer which is not likely to build 100 cookies, okay, you can test it out. Then probably remarketing ads would not even start firing. Okay, so these are a couple of cases that I can really right now think of. But of course, we'll have to see based on the constraints that we have discussed. If the overall idea does not make sense logically based on the constraints, then of course, uh, 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 remarketing ads may not be a viable option to do. Okay, so there is a message I'm getting. My connection is slow. So for just to keep the bandwidth going, I'm just taking out the webcam from this discussion. But we'll continue with the discussion right now.
Great. So there is another question asked by Manas Makhani. He wants to know, Facebook have recently launched WCA, website custom audience. How does it
Right.
actually works?
Okay, so this question is slightly out of the discussion. If we have any more questions related to remarketing, we can take them first, and if time permits, we can answer this question. If there are no questions, I can straight away take up this question.
Great. Guys, by the way, if you have, as I mentioned earlier, if there's something that you want to have an open discussion, just press the hand raise button. And there's still actually a lot of questions that are unanswered, so I'm trying to take as many as possible. Simultaneously, I'm just popping up this another poll. You can say it's a commercial break. You know, we guys are into digital marketing training, and we do a 6 months program and 1 month program of various aspects of digital marketing. So if you're interested in taking up a formal course in digital marketing, you can just press yes over here, and I'll ask someone from my team to call you. So while you're responding to that, there are some of you who have raised your hand, so I'm unmuting you. Arya Datta, you've raised your hand. I'm unmuting you. Aryan Datta, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. What's your question?
Hello. Yeah, my question was, in a B2B company, you haven't mentioned anything about the B2B companies. So what are the remarketing strategies can be used in a B2B news and information portal, whereby your only revenue is selling ad spaces to for companies in a similar industry?
Uh, uh, Kapil, did you understand the question? The voice was breaking a little bit, so I could not understand the complete
Hello.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aryan, can you
Hello.
please rephrase it?
My
Yeah.
question. Yeah, sure. Yeah. In a B2B company, B2B portal, whereby only revenue is selling ad spaces for companies in a similar industry, what can be the remarketing strategies for the same?
Okay. So, okay, the question is that if you have a B2B company and there is an ad revenue model along attached with this
Yes.
particular site, okay, well, how can
Yeah.
remarketing strategy be deployed? Okay, excellent
Yes,
question.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's say if you're actually dealing in a B2B environment, okay, then you will have two objectives. One, to generate leads, okay, and then maybe to generate some revenue to recover some costs. Is that correct assumption?
Yeah, Aryan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So primary objective is to generate leads because that is what is going to drive your business ahead. And then secondary objective would be to get some more ad clicks or maybe some more ad revenue. Okay. Now, depending on what your revenue model is, either it can be a CPC model or it can be a CPM model. There can be multiple strategies defined that can be defined. Okay. Now, for B2B lead generation objective, okay, if the person has come to your website and has not generated a lead, okay, and based on the behavior, by the time that this guy spent, by the number of pages that this guy viewed, and probably the section that this guy viewed, okay, you can follow this guy back and tell them to come back to your website and generate the lead, okay. So that was to do remarketing for the primary objective of the website. Now, depending on what kind of revenue that you are generating for every click, if that click, then in that case, your objective would be to understand whether the cost of acquiring the customer is lower than the cost of getting that ad click. The revenue of the ad click. Okay. Let's say if cost of acquiring the customer is 2 rupees, okay, and if you're getting 10 rupees for every click, then it makes all the sense. Okay. So the people who are interested in your products and services, they can always be brought back, and maybe either they will fill up the lead form or they will actually end up clicking on the ad. So this is something which you'll have to test, then optimize and scale up. Okay. So there is no clear black and white answer. There are a lot of gray shades here in between. So you'll have to basically understand that whether your remarketing campaign are giving you customer acquisition cost or visitor acquisition cost, which is lower than the CPC revenue or CPM revenue that your site is getting. So this was to basically answer to your second query. So I think I have been able to answer both queries, both parts of your question. If not, please let me know.
So one more thing. Do you think is remarketing really helpful for a B2B portal, unless as compared to a B2C portal?
Yes, of
The
course.
results
That
are
goes
they
even
really
without
fruitful
saying.
for a B2B portal?
Yes, 100%, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I have been seeing fantastic results myself for my clients. Unfortunately, I cannot share the data with you. One of the case studies which I just shared with you of this college example, okay, without having to name those companies, okay. But I'm seeing excellent results for B2C as well as B2B. Excellent results. I mean, if you're not implementing remarketing, you're losing a lot of money, a lot of leads on the table, which belong to you actually.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, sure, welcome. You're welcome.
Bhaskar, I'm unmuting you. Yeah, Bhaskar. Bhaskar? Bhaskar, it seems you're not audible. It would be good if you can just type your question. There's some issue with your mic. Snehal, I'm unmuting you.
So, एक साल पहले की information कैसे मिली? That is my question. इसको कैसे पता नहीं भाई ये साइट पे? There has to be some logic behind it.
Of course.
इतनी कहाँ तो तेरा डेटा एक जगह पे फीड करेगा ना, वही डेटा कैलकुलेट दे जाएगा जहाँ पे भी तू.
Just a minute, looks like.
So there are positive and negative, right?
इसी laptop, मतलब इसी identification इसी identification.
नहीं है.
Sorry guys, looks like Snail is busy somewhere else. And great. So I'll just take up some more questions from the Q&A panel which has been asked earlier. Okay, so there's a recent question been asked by Mohinder. Mohinder wants to know, how does a product company get maximum return from the remarketing technique? Secondly, what is the best tool for product-based companies to purchase such tools and the impact, conversions, and effectiveness of the campaign?
Okay, so this is a loaded question here. It is not one question, it has actually multiple questions built into this one single question. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me try to answer one by one. Kapil, please make sure that I answer all these components and I don't miss on any component. Okay, starting with how can remarketing be helpful for product-based websites? Okay, now you have to understand very, very clearly that if the cost per acquisition or cost per sale is less, okay, then the cost the cost of the product, okay, that is a sales price of the product. Let me just reword it. I messed it up. Okay, if the selling price is higher than the cost of the acquisition, then it is a profitable venture. Okay, if the selling price is lower than the cost of the acquisition of the customer, that means the customer who is ready to pay you. I'm not talking about traffic. I'm not talking about CPC, CTC, etc. I'm talking about cost per acquisition of the customer or cost per acquisition of the lead is lower than the selling price, then it is a profitable venture. Okay, and then I would go on day in and day out, continue to repeat this process. Okay, So you have to basically see, and a site or a company may have multiple products, okay, and cost would vary from product to product. So you may have to work out different strategies for different products as far as any strategy, leave alone remarketing, is concerned. Okay, so certain sections or certain categories of product would give you higher margins to play around with. Certain products or certain sections would give you lower margins to play around with. So if the cost per sale is beneficial or is profitable, then go all do it all around 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Okay, but for maybe some sections it does not work out positively. Fair enough. Don't do the remarketing for them, or don't do digital paid marketing for them. Focus more on SEO or maybe other kind of campaigns like email marketing campaigns or other mix. Okay, there are tools that exist like which will tell you what exactly is happening on your website. Apart from Google Analytics, there are tools like Kissmetrics, there are tools like Mixpanel, there are tools, other tools like which can actually start doing activities. For example, if you go to Flipkart or Amazon or Snaptool, okay, the very product that you are seeing, okay, there are multiple ways in which they try to connect with you. Okay, not just that on display network they will try to connect with you, they will also try to connect with you showing the same product ad on Facebook. They'll also try to connect with you on Yahoo network. They'll also try to connect with you through email by showing the exact same product with a 10% discount built into that email content. Okay, so why, how are they actually able to manage it? They are actually using multiple tools. They are using tools like customer.io. They are using tools like Eloqua or Marketo for doing this remarketing through email. And they are also doing, they are using some advanced tools like Kissmetrics or Mixpanel or other similar tools to manage these things. Okay, if your company is like really, really, really huge, okay, or your profitability is really, really huge, okay, then you can actually start going beyond one tool usage or two tool usage. You can start using multiple tools. You can start actually attracting multiple people at multiple locations, catching their attention, attracting their attention. Okay, so based on what your ROI is, based on what your profitability is, okay, there is no limit. So there is no tool which is expensive or cheap. Okay, it only and purely depends on what is the profit that you're making. Okay, even if you're selling a 5 rupee product and you're able to push 1,000 products or 2,000 products at 1 rupee margin, it is still better than selling a 10,000 piece product and selling it at 9,900 rupees with 10 products in one day. Okay, so you have to see what is working. You may not get right answer or yes or no type of answer from me right now. I'll have to look at your campaigns, or you will have to look at your campaigns, understand what your profitability is, what is the kind of margin that you can play around with. The first objective would be to achieve break-even point and then achieve profitability. Okay, that is the principle that one has to follow. So I personally believe I have been able to answer all components of questions, but if you think I have missed on something, please let me know.
Yeah, I think so. Uh, okay, so guys, if there is, we have already exceeded by 8 minutes. If there is some question that is very, very urgent that you really need an answer right now, just press the hand raise button and I'll unmute you. Else, we'll be giving you the recording of this session over the email, and also we'll be doing a blog post on it. So if you want have any further query, you can just post it as a comment in that blog and we'll respond back to you.
Okay, Kapil, I would like to take this question from Tarandeep Kaur Bhutani.
Okay.
She has asked a very interesting question. I would like to just take this question.
Sure.
The question goes like this: if the user has cleaned their browser, then our cookies, which is counting the number of the remarketing list, will be removed and the number will also decrease, not reaching 100 this way. So still, we will be able to do remarketing? That's an excellent question, Tarandeep. Thank you for asking me. Okay, let me just tell you the probability of getting the cookie removed. Okay, so I can assure you that maybe less than 2 to 5% people knew about cookie system in this particular webinar, and we guys are slightly more technical, or maybe hugely more technical than the rest of the world. Okay, so the probability of getting the cookie removed is somewhere between 0% to 2%. Okay, and maybe sometimes a little higher in very technical niches where you're targeting very high tech programmers or developers kind of community. Okay, but for the rest of the world, rest assured your cookie is going to stay there with them. Okay, unless they have a virus attack or they crash their hard drive or something. So that percentage would be very, very low. So your remarketing attempt will not have a huge hit just because somebody removed the cookie, because the probability of getting the cookie removed is very, very small. Okay, so I believe I have been able to answer your question, Tarandeep. That was an excellent question. Thank you for asking.
Great. Great. I think so. That's it. Thank you everybody for attending it, and thanks Manoj for answering possibly all the questions. And
Yes, thank you for having me here, Kapil.
welcome. And looking forward everybody to see you in the next webinar on next Friday. Thanks a lot. Session is complete from my side.
Thank you. Goodbye. God bless.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.